Hello, I'm Miriam Meek from AmSci, and I'm going to show you how to submit your manuscript to one of our journals through the Editorial Manager system. If you have not yet listened to the video that explains manuscript preparations, you might want to go back and listen to that and check to see if your manuscript is really ready for submission. If you're actually ready to submit the paper, then this is the video that will show you how to do that. The screen you're looking at right now is www.amsci.com, and I'm on the Authors tab. Now we're actually ready to submit an article, so we'll click Submit Article. And this is a new submission. And this brings us to the Editorial Manager page where you'll do the submission. If you've been here before and you have a username and password, then you can just log in now. If this is the first time for you to use the Editorial Manager and you haven't been a reviewer for us in the past, you probably aren't listed here, then you need to click Register Now and just follow the instructions. A username and password will be sent to your email address, and then you can come back here and log in. And log in as an author. We're going to be submitting a new manuscript, but just before we get started, we need to create the copyright form. You can click either here or here to get a copy of the copyright assignment form. Fill it out with the authors' names, all the authors in the order that they appear on the paper. Type in the complete title. And at the bottom of the page, there's a place for each author to sign off. You can either print this out, have everybody sign it and date it, then scan it and save it and have it ready to upload with your manuscript. Or if you want to, you can type in the names. Once this is filled out, then this is the official okay from all the authors and the agreement with our copyright rules. Alright, once you have that form saved, then just double check. You should already have a manuscript ready to upload. The manuscript should contain a title page, a summary, the text of the paper. There should be a reference list at the end, and if you have any tables or figures, those should be at the very end of the document following the reference list. Please number all the pages, and if you can turn on the line numbering, that's even more convenient for the editors to be able to refer to page numbers and line numbers. So when you have that ready, you should also have a cover letter written and ready to upload. This is a letter to the editors explaining what you are submitting. So now let's click on New Manuscript. First we choose the article type. There is only one article type available, and that is Original Study. Now we're going to type in the full title of the paper and click Next. This is where you add any other authors besides yourself. The computer already recognizes you, and in this tutorial I'm calling the author New Author as the name. To add another author, just click Add Author. I'm going to call this author Second Author. And we have to add an email address for that author. And then submit. If you want to add a third author, continue with this process. Only one of them will be the corresponding author, and that one should be clicked. Since you are the person submitting this paper, you are automatically considered the corresponding author, but you can change that by clicking corresponding author on any of the other authors. Okay, once we have the authors in, hit Next. The section category is actually where you're going to choose the title of the journal you want to submit to. So we will submit to perceptual and motor skills. If you're not sure which journal you want to submit to, you can go back and click on Journals, List of Journals, and this will show you all of the journals that we have. If you want to look at any one of them in more detail, just click. Now you're going to enter your summary or your abstract. Limit is 250 words. When that's pasted in, click Next. Keywords. You do not have to enter any keywords at all, but if you would like to, you will submit them separated by semicolons. A keyword can have more than one word, like we're going to select a classification. There are instructions here, but I'm going to just show you. Click the button. The first thing you need to select is the title of the journal that we're submitting to. We've chosen Perceptual and Motor Skills. Click the little plus sign in front of it, and it will open up all the possibilities of classifications within that title. You can click on more than one if you want. I'll click on a couple here. And then click Select. So now you see we have chosen the name of the journal and a couple of other classifications. You must click Submit to save this. Okay, now you can see the classifications we have selected. Click Next. There's several questions here that are required for submission. The access type, either standard access, which has page fees, or open access, which has a large fee up front, and then it is free to everyone to access at no charge from then on. Page fees, it will not be an open access article, but will be listed in our online journal and in our print journals. If you aren't sure which arrangement you want to choose here, let's take a quick look back on the author page. Under Publication Arrangements, there's a little more detail on each one of these types. You must choose a type that goes along with the title of your journal. So we are submitting to Perceptual and Motor Skills, so we must choose either A or B because those are the only two categories that apply to Perceptual and Motor Skills. I'm going to choose the standard, which has page fees instead of the large one-time fee up front for open access. So I'll click A. If an institutional review board looked at your paper, click Yes if it has been approved. If you are the author who wrote the paper and you can affirm that there is no plagiarism, then you can click A. If somebody else wrote the paper and you're not sure if they might have copied from some other source, then click B. I'll click B for this tutorial. Have you submitted a manuscript to us in the past? If so, click Yes. Have you posted this study on a preprint server? If you have just posted the abstract, click No. But if the bulk of your paper or the basic topic of your paper has been posted someplace, then you will choose the drop-down box and click Yes. I'm going to click No. But if you clicked Yes, then you need to give us the DOI link so that we can go to that and look at it and evaluate where it's been placed before. Have you downloaded the copyright form? If that is done, then you can select Yes. If it isn't done, there's a link to go to it, and you can handle that right now before you proceed. Click Next. This is just a comment box if you want to leave a comment for the editor in addition to your cover letter. This is not the cover letter, just an extra place to make a comment. You do not need to put anything here. But if you have a remark you'd like to make, this is where you would place it. You may suggest reviewers for your paper if you know of an expert in the field who would be a good person to use as a reviewer. This is the place to suggest them. Fill out the fields that are listed in red there. Give a reason why you think this would be a good reviewer, and then click Add Reviewer. You do not need to select a reviewer or suggest a reviewer, but you may. On the next screen, you can oppose a reviewer. If there's someone you feel should not look at the paper for some reason, then give us their information and give us the reason. Again, click Add Reviewer if you add someone to that field. The region of origin just gives us an idea of what part of the world your paper is coming from for statistical purposes. I will choose United States and click Next. You can see that as we go down this list, these are being checked off as they are accomplished. So we're getting down to the end where you're going to actually attach the files of your manuscript. The first file to attach is your copyright form. So it's already filled in. There's a drop-down box that gives you all the options, but we'll go with copyright form. Description is already filled in. So we're going to browse to the file. Here's my copyright form. And I'm going to attach this file. The copyright form is here. It's been uploaded. The next thing we're going to upload is the cover letter. Again, we can browse by clicking Choose File. There's the cover letter. Attach this file. Now the cover letter appears, and the last thing to upload is the manuscript. And attach the file. So there are the three files. If you want to look at them to make sure you attach the right thing, you can click Download, open each one and look at it. If you have some change you need to make, this is the time to make it. Next. This just shows you what you have: the copyright form, the cover letter, and the manuscript. It looks like you can update the file order, but you can't because that is set. There is no option. So just click Next again. This gives you a summary of what you have attached. Everything that's red must have at least one item there, so we do have one copyright form, one cover letter, and one manuscript. Now you will click Build PDF for my approval. You will receive an email that tells you that you're going to need to go in and look at the PDF and approve it. You can go back and go away and come back at this point if you want. You can also just keep going by clicking Submissions Waiting for Author's Approval. You'll have some action links appear here when the manuscript is completely there. So let's wait just a moment to make sure that the PDF is ready. When the screen is blinking, it just means that it's refreshing. And this may take a few minutes. That's why the instructions say please wait a few minutes. When the action list appears, when you actually have something blue written here, there it is. Now it's ready. In red here, it gives you the steps that you must take right now. The first thing to do is click View Submission. This lets you see the PDF that you just created. You see this first sheet is automatically generated, has your title. It shows your keywords, it shows your section or category, which is your title. Lists the authors, shows who the corresponding author is. Gives your summary, gives your classifications. And we'll scroll down. Your copyright assignment appears next. It's filled in, so it's ready to go. Here's the cover letter. And after that begins your manuscript. There's the first page, the title page. The second page is the summary. Then there's the rest of the manuscript. And if you agree that that's the way it should look, first click I accept. You're just agreeing to the publication policies. Now click Approve Submission. Are you sure? Yes. There's a $35 submission fee that needs to be paid at this point. There are two reasons you might request a waiver. If we invited you to submit this paper because you reviewed a paper and we asked you to send us a comment, then you can click Request Waiver. Or if you have some unfilled pages from a previous publication that we've invited you to use, you may click Request Waiver. Otherwise, you should click Credit Card and make the payment. Just follow the instructions. It's a PayPal payment. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm going to click Request Waiver and proceed. Okay, the paper has been sent now to Ammons Scientific. If you had gone through the payment process, if you did not see this screen and you're back to the previous screen with the blue list on the left-hand side, just click Approve Submission again, and then it will go through to us. So now the paper has been submitted. If you click your main menu, now you see there is a submission being processed. It has left your bucket, we call it, and moved to our bucket. So we now have it in our care, and you can leave it. I want you to see that there's also here listed an incomplete submission. If you start the submission process and don't finish it and have to leave and come back, then when you come back and log in, you will find your paper under incomplete submission. I left one here that was only partially done. When you come back, you have some choices. You can go back and work on it, finish it up, then you would click Edit Submission. If you've decided you don't want to upload that version, maybe you started one and weren't happy with it, you can simply remove it. So if you go to Edit Submission, it takes you right back into all those steps that we just did. I'm going to just remove this one now because it's an extra copy. And I'm sure, so I'll click OK. We'll go back to your main menu as author, and now there is no incomplete submission. There's just the one that's being processed. If you want to click at that and look at that one, while it's in our care, you can still view the submission. You can look at the fees and payments. You can look at any correspondence that might be there about this article, and you can send us an email. So if you're wondering what's happening with your paper after several weeks went by and you haven't heard anything, just click Send Email and you can contact us that way. So this concludes this tutorial. When you receive a letter back about your submission and you again find it in your bucket, it will come back to you probably as submissions needing revision, because most submissions are revised at least once. When you receive it back, you can watch the next tutorial, which is tells you how to submit a revision. So perhaps we'll see you there.